We will take, because we are on time, we will take a couple of questions from the audience. And if we can, let's try to be very clear in our question. And if you'd like to direct it to someone, feel free to. And if you'd like to leave it general, that's also okay. So if anyone has a question, please raise your hand and we will get the mic to you. Let's take here and then here.
I'm Iyas from Erbil.
Yes, English, Arabic is fine.
Yeah, English, Arabic is fine. I'm Iyas from Erbil Hub, member in Global Shepherds Community. It's a direct question for Mr. Saad and Dr. Omar for the role of state, especially for Jordan cases, to establish identity for the citizen. There's a role for the state to establish the identity through the schools, through the learning, through the freedom of opinion, through all these processes. So what's your opinion for that? Thank you.
Okay, we'll do, please here, then number 3.
شكرا على الحضور جميعا والمواضيع اللي قدمتوها حقيقة حرية بالنقاش وغنية أيضا بالنقاش. لكن ما استفزني حقيقة آخر موضوع بما يتعلق بموضوع الدين كسيستم. يعني كيف بنشوف الدين كسيستم؟ يعني الإسلام أو المسيحية الحل أو الإسلام هو الحل؟ هو حل إذا جاز التعبير، بس يعني السؤال اللي بيطرح حاله أنا مش ضد فكرة الإسلام أو المسيحية أنها تزرع فاليز وقيم في المجتمع هذا، بس بعدين يعني ما أفكار قبل 2000 سنة أو 1420 سنة أو 5000 سنة لم تعد صالحة بتقديري. جزء كبير منها سقط يما بالعلم يما بالتفسير، ثم من يضمن إلي تأويل النصوص؟ لأن من النصوص تأتي اللصوص. هون بتدخل التأويل على الموضوع، وبالتالي ممكن يفسروا آية أو في الإنجيل أو في القرآن أو في هذا اقتلوا من ثقفتموهم، أو ما أدري شنو في الإنجيل أو في التوراة والى آخره، اقتلوا اللي العجوز لأنه العجوز هاي بس تكبر عمر الشياطين بيركبوها، في التوراة موجود. يعني قضية الدين قضية أنك تستند إلى قضية شو اسمه الله بده مش كنا موافقين على الله أنه موجود، لكن قضية موضوع التفسير قضية والله توجع الوجدان، يعني توجع القلب بالتفسير. أما أنه سيستم مش سيستم، فسرت آية جد راقية جد محترمة وإلى آخره، لكن يا سيدي من يضمن كل الناس كما أنت؟ يعني أشكر، يعني نطلع لقدام شوي. شكرا.
Excellent, thank you. A third question here, please.
Thank you. My name is Samar. It's not a question, it's a comment. Basically, I agree with most of what you said, but I feel my frustration when we talk about Islam is that only the terror that is associated with Islam is being highlighted. So when a Jew or a Christian commits a crime, nobody criticizes their religion or their background. But when a Muslim commits a crime, it's automatically associated with their religion. But not only with their religion, it reinforces the notion of us and them. So the Muslim is the barbaric, the Arab from the Middle East, that's, it must be the religion that's driving him to do that. But in other situations, it's not the same. And, And then I want to, because now in Davos, the whole debate is going to be about global terror. And what I'm afraid of is that all the conversations are going to focus on Islamic terror or terror associated with Islam. And, the Charlie Hebdo incident that happened is going to be a highlight in the conference. So I just want our representatives to really represent what and I know many people feel, that Charlie Hebdo is not about us versus you, or an assault on the democratic France, or an assault on freedom of speech. I'm not saying that to justify the killing. Nobody should die because they said whatever they did or drew something. But it's important to not say Je suis Charlie, because Charlie is a racist institution that offended so many people, and it targets the oppressed, and they don't symbolize freedom of speech, because when a Jew was insulted, the cartoonist was fired from the newspaper. But when, so I just want to make sure that the terror that's happening in Palestine, the drones in Yemen, in Libya, in Syria. This is all American Western terror, and we need to highlight that. I understand, Dr. Azzaz, that yes, we have to be, active participant in change, and we shouldn't blame, the West for all our miseries. But it's, as you said, because we don't learn our history, unfortunately, in schools. So we always tend to blame, but also when you read the history and you learn it, you also see that you cannot look at these issues without looking at the political economy and the social changes that affected our region since forever.
Thank you. We have 3 questions here as well. Okay, here, then 3.
I think my question would go to Mr. Omar, because you're economically more... I think we're jumping a huge step here. Because when you talk about democracy, when you talk about having youth knowing themselves and knowing themselves as individuals, we're jumping a huge step. As active citizens, we may say we're 1 million out of 7 million, but yet when you ask a person to represent their democratic system, when you talk about somewhere in Ramtha or Erbil, when they want to vote, how do they vote? Do you think they know who they're voting for? No, because they're lacking money or a blanket or a heater. Someone goes there and pays 10 JDs and asks them to come and vote. So we're still not aware of we're not aware. There's a huge step to cover before asking people to know themselves, or before asking people to become democratic, or asking people to know themselves. So is the state responsible for that huge gap we left, and we jumped and we started working on the future step? We just missed a huge gap in our society. So yes, thank you.
Thank you. Let's take the last 3 here. Rasha? Oh, sorry, yes, here, and then the last 3 over here.
Hello, my name is Faisal. Thank you, everyone, for whatever you have said. It's really remarkable. I really support the idea of a civil state. But before all that, we're focusing on youth and how they can make a change. But youth is affected directly by their seniors, by the older generation. Now, I was born on September 27th, 1992, and a few hours later, or the second day, I don't really remember well, I was given a name, Faisal, Diyana, al-Islam. So, but I didn't get to choose my religion. I was born with it. And then throughout my school life, I was taught that Islam is this and that, and you get to marry for, the Bible is wrong, muharraf, etc., etc. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I'm praying 5 times a day, I'm fasting, I'm doing all that, but I only understand 20% of Islam. I don't know what Islam is completely, thoroughly. So how can we solve this problem? Not enforcing the law, not following, choosing and then following. How can we do that? Thank you.
Thank you. Rasha, 3, 1, 2, and 3, please. Thank you.
Thank you. أستاذ، سؤالي للدكتور عمر، كيف فينا ننتقل من مرحلة إنه كل ما نقعد لازم نحكي على النيجاتيفز الموجودة فينا، إمتى رح نوصل مرحلة نبلش نحكي إنه إحنا we proud إنه إحنا عرب، we proud إنه إحنا مسلمين، إحنا ما في شيء ناقصنا غير شيء واحد بس، أول كلمة نزلت بالقرآن اقرأ، إحنا أمة اقرأ. إمتى نوصل مرحلة نقرأ القرآن، نقرأ تفسير القرآن، نتفكر بالقرآن. ما بحكي أنا ليش أنا انخلقت مسلم، أنا بفتخر إني أنا انخلقت مسلم. أنا I have nothing to do about Christian كمان، أنا بفتخر إنه كريستيان، إنه كلياتنا الديانات، وبالنسبة للديانات كلياتها يعني إشي يعني ما بنحكي عليه. بس في نقطة إحنا كم ساعة درسنا بالمدارس بالجامعات، كم ساعة عم نقرأ القرآن، كلياتنا عم نحكي إيش الدين، كم ساعة عم نقضي باليوم نقرأ إيش هو القرآن، كتاب أنزل من الله. إذا أنت هلا إحنا عصر الباور، عصر الكنترول، the only الطريقة الإنسان يصير عنده باور اللي يقرأ القرآن، هاي هي الطريقة الوحيدة. طريق شغلة تانية، إحنا بعصر العولمة، عم بيسيطروا علينا الدول العالمية لأنهم عم بيقرأوا، عم بيتعلموا. هلا في عنا مثلا إحنا عظماء بالأردن، في عنا بعض السياسيين مثل عبد الحي زلوم، كم واحد قرأ لعبد الحي الزلوم؟ إحنا هلا بعصر بقول لك حرب عالمية ثالثة، عم بيسيطروا على عقولنا، عم نركز إحنا بس على الأشياء الملموسة، كلياتنا عم نلبس حلو، كلياتنا بيوتنا حلوة، كلياتنا بنحكي حلو، بس ولا حدا داخليا عم بيعمل انفست بالعقول تبعتنا. بدنا ننتقل من مرحله الاشياء الملموسه للاشياء الفكر تبعنا. الفكر العربي احنا مش ناقصنا شيء، كلياتنا عندنا عقول، عندنا الحمد لله عندنا كل الحواس، واللي وصلوا للقمر مو احسن منا. كلياتنا لازم انه نصير ان شاء الله. احنا هلا بعصر الامه الاسلاميه ضعيفه، ولكن كانت بالزمانات الامه الاسلاميه من اقوى الامم، ورح يجي عصر ورح تصير الامه الاسلاميه من اقوى الامم. بس احنا ما بصير لما نشوف الاعلام نخجل ونستحي اني انا عربي. ال 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 الاجانب هلا صار عندهم فوبيا من شيء اسمه اسلام، بس ما حننتقل من هاي المرحله غير لما نبدي بانفسنا. انا لازم وين ما اروح ما اخجل، انا عربي، انا مسلم، احنا ما بنعمل شيء غلط. هاي نمبر 1. فهاي النقطه اللي لازم نبدا فيها بانفسنا. التعليم التعليم، اقرا اقرا اقرا. وثانك يو للدكتور عمر. انا بصراحه براود انه في عنا يعني مثل الدكتور عمر الرزاز. يعني بتمنى انه وين ما عم بتروح انه الكل انه يحضر لك ويستمع للدكتور، لانه عن جد من الناس العظماء اللي بالاردن اللي بنفتخر انه موجود عندنا. شكرا.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Actually, after what she said, there's not that much to say, but I would like to comment about 3 things. It's about time that we stop living in denial. Arabs are not the same, Muslims are not the same. And we should start talking about who are the Arabs and who are the Muslims, okay? History is very important, and that's why I disagree with Monsieur Saad. We should study history. Our youth will not be able to go forward if they do not know who they are and what is their background. They need to understand exactly what happened in the 19th century and the 20th century before they can go forward to the 21st century. We cannot just live in an age where people like Faisal, youth like Faisal, who said that we don't understand anything about our religion, 20%, and don't know what does it mean to be an Arab. Adolf Hitler started as a war because he wanted to preserve the German race. Winston Churchill used the Brit race to engage British in the war. And we are not using Arab race or Muslim identity to engage in a war. No, but we need to know who we are. This is the first point. The second point, that we as Arabs need to identify and acknowledge the reasons for our disunity. It is the discourse is very problematic for me. When you come here to Jordan, when I came back, I had this thing about Al-Urdun أولاً, okay? And هيئة كلنا الأردن. And I have to be very, very frank about that. No, we are not the same, okay? People need to identify that there are ethnicities background, there are a religious background. According to the CIA report, there are minorities in Jordan that Jordanians need to identify, not only the CIA report, okay, and the UNESCO report. There are minorities. Ethnicity exists in Jordan, religious exists in Jordan, all kind of cultural backgrounds, especially with the refugees, the Syrian refugees, the Iraqi refugees, the Kurdish refugees, the Palestinian refugees, all need to be identified. And without this concept of multiculturalism and diversity, things will go backwards. This is really what we are suffering. It is not a religious issue, if I could say that. It is the fact that we are not acknowledging this multicultural unity. I submitted a paper 4 years ago at the AUB and about the multiculturalism in Jordan. And unfortunately, one of my colleagues, a Jordanian colleague, attacked me saying, I would like, the purpose of my paper at that time was to fragment the Jordanian society. And that was coming from an academician. I am assistant professor at the Jordanian University, and that was very, very offensive to me, that someone would think anybody talking about multiculturalism in Jordan or in the Arab world would be having some political disloyalty to the system, if you could say that, So this point needs to be addressed. Dr. Omar, you talked about education, and I really say education is the system. It is not also the position of the state, even though I don't like the word state. We don't have states. We have governments. I'm political science minor, so education is the key. History is the key. We I like this dialogue to go on, Amir, if you could have a follow-up debate or a follow-up discussion. Schools don't have debate clubs. That's why students do not think. They don't read. They don't have reading clubs. I came from a school in which we have a reading clubs. We have reading competitions. And these kind of activities don't exist anymore, okay? They only have exams and exams and exams. So there are so many things that need to be done. And I think it is not economy. This is also another thing for Dr. Omar and everyone involved. When the education reform started with His Majesty in 1999, it was started with a concept called knowledge economy. And knowledge was emphasized before economy. Sadly, we forgot about knowledge and we're only talking about economy, okay? So I'm sorry for talking too much about these things, but it was very, very provocative discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's take the last comment, please, here. Behind, yes.
Hi. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. First off, I was wishing for a more technical debate, and this is particularly part of the problem, that we keep the sociologists out of such debates. And we got a lot of politicians. This time we're lucky with them, but more often than not, we've got politicians weighing in on a sociological issue, which is national identity. Now, I'm going to give a couple of comments on what has been said. I believe, no, we have an interpretation with the text. The interpretation is bad. There needs to be a version 2 of it. Surah Al-Fatiha starts off and ends with the final verse saying, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين ولا الضالين اليهود وغير المغضوب عليهم المسيحية. This cannot stay as a taught interpretation. This has to die. This is my first comment. As for collective versus individualism, we've had a collective culture. Collectiveness is not a problem by itself. France is a collective culture. Hofstede has made the Hofstede model, and there's individualistic cultures and collective cultures. But we've destroyed the collective institutes. We've mingled in tribal law. We've mingled in tribal structures. And we haven't shifted towards individualism. So we're stuck in between. So we have a lack of model rather than a wrong model. As for national identities, I think we portray this white guilt and come with it as if national identities are wrong by themselves. And I believe the Arab world, if you want to call it that, between quotations, has been suffering from a lack of national identity development, which has led, the panelists have mentioned the subnational identities, but majorly it has led to supranational identities. The Umm al-Arabiya, Umm al-Islamiyya, all of this. Now we have to start off from Benedict Anderson and the earth is no longer flat. All identities are imagined. Now we need to imagine a workable, practical identity. Arabiya will never work. Islamiyya will never work. It's just a simple evolutionary trait in each and every human being. You cannot read the news about 22 people. You will never belong to them. You will never have the willingness to defend them. Your identity will always have a gap. We need to start off with that technical sociological fact and then move on from there. With history. You need history. It's also an evolutionary trait. If you don't understand your heritage, don't understand your values, you cannot move forward, because at the end of the day, that is a main definer of national identity and of legitimacy. This is another issue that comes with the gap, legitimacy. We're still, after 93 years, we're still faced with questions like Sykes-Picot drew us up on a Sunday afternoon. And we're a buffer state that needs to change from a purpose of defending Israel to another purpose to attack Israel, as if the sole existence is for a purpose, not by existence itself. And all the 300 years of struggling against the Ottomans is rubbed off under the carpet. All the contributions to humanity, when we talk about pluralism and openness, people forget that the treasury in Petra was built before the Romans came, and we've adopted and brought in the architecture before they came to us. It is embedded in our DNA to be open and to be multicultural. Going two more points, I'm sorry.
Okay, just because we're on time, that's why.
1921, we've been downloading and then someone presses play. This is our curriculum. People graduate from university not knowing the Greater Arab Revolt is greater in reference to what? Greater than what? And it is a revolt against whom and for what? This is baffling. Now, as for the religious thing, I'm just going to go back to it. Speaking about JU, Porsche teaches at JU. Qunaybi teaches at JU. Maqdisi, the main theorist of Al-Qaeda, taught at JU. This is state-sponsored terrorism. This has to end. This cannot go on. You cannot bring in Arifi to Jarash and gather in 70,000 people and teach them jihad in Syria and then be surprised that this is happening. And this was done by the government. And this has to stop. If you don't want to fight them, at least don't fund them. The whole model of the 7,000 mosques, 3,000 Dar Tahfiz Quran, are the input for them are people who get 65 in Tawjihi. Why are we putting people below average academic results to teach the rest of the nation how to live? This is a structural flaw. This needs to happen. This is costless. And okay, I have a million other points. I'll just leave them.
Thank you.